Animated films are often dismissed as mere children's entertainment, but they possess the power to send shivers down the spines of even the most resolute adults. From beloved Disney classics to spine-chilling anime masterpieces, the world of animation has produced its fair share of nightmarish tales. As we approach Halloween, let's uncover the 13 most bone-chilling animated movies, embracing the eerie allure of that ominous number. Here, we unveil the darkest animated films, encompassing both familiar childhood terrors and harrowing adult-oriented horrors, with an unexpected recurring presence of the enigmatic John Hurt. Number 13. The Black Cauldron. Disney's The Black Cauldron may have faded from memory, mainly due to its reputation for scaring audiences away from theaters. Released in 1985 during Disney's daring venture into darker storytelling, this film was a colossal box office disappointment, nearly jeopardizing Disney's animation legacy. However, one could argue that this peculiar movie deserves a closer look. Loosely based on Lloyd Alexander's The Chronicles of Prydain series, The Black Cauldron deviates significantly from its source material and from Disney's traditional fare. The story revolves around Taran, a young pig keeper who joins forces with Princess Eilonwy, Bard Faluther Flam, and the curious creature Gurgi to thwart the Horned King's sinister plan of raising an army of the undead to conquer the world. Their quest requires them to destroy the titular Black Cauldron, a task only Taran's prophetic pig can accomplish. The film combines various tones and animation styles, with a young Tim Burton making notable contributions. Despite its nonsensical plot, The Black Cauldron emanates a haunting atmosphere, primarily driven by the unsettling design of the Horned King. With shades of a more ominous Skeletor, this villain is genuinely chilling, brought to life by John Hurt's impeccable performance. Number 12. The Nightmare Before Christmas. It's no surprise to find The Nightmare Before Christmas on this list. This stop-motion masterpiece is a film adults quote endlessly, but few would readily admit that it sent shivers down their spines as children. This ghastly creation has graced our column before, but its enduring legacy in the realm of animated horror demands another mention. Remember Tim Burton from our previous entry? After the dismal reception of The Black Cauldron, Burton came close to abandoning animation for good, venturing into the world of live action with acclaimed works like Beetlejuice and Batman. However, the allure of animation ultimately lured the idiosyncratic filmmaker back to the medium, and surprisingly, back to Disney. Yet, he didn't step into the director's shoes. Burton served as the producer and visionary behind The Nightmare Before Christmas, with the directorial duties entrusted to stop-motion virtuoso Henry Selick, James and the Giant Peach, Coraline. Together, they conjured up a film that haunted our childhood memories. The Nightmare Before Christmas unfolds the tale of Jack Skellington, the Pumpkin King of Halloween Town, who kidnaps Santa Claus and endeavors to merge Halloween and Christmas, unleashing chaos worldwide. Having a skeleton as the protagonist alone instills fear, but the pervasive body horror in every frame of this movie, Sally's stitches, the mayor's perpetual smile, Beryl's bulging eyes, is enough to make any child's heart race in terror. Number 11. The Last Unicorn. 2 words, The Red Bull. A memorable monster is a hallmark of a good scary movie, and The Last Unicorn introduces one of the most terrifying animated monsters of all time. Although the fantasy epic may not appear overtly frightening at first, it does have its unique brand of weirdness. Released in 1982, The Last Unicorn was a Japanese-American production based on Peter S. Beagle's novel. It narrates the journey of a unicorn who discovers that she is the last of her kind, as all others have vanished. She embarks on a quest to rescue them, encountering a series of escalating dangers. She's captured by a hag who forces her into a carnival sideshow, encounters a harpy with a horrifying character design and screeching dialogue that easily earns this movie a place on our list. And let's not forget the unsettling presence of a tree with heaving breasts, which leans more towards disturbing than outright scary. All of these elements build up to the Red Bull, a creature that embodies pure evil. With its deep, blood-red color and the ominous cloud of smoke that surrounds it, the Red Bull is simultaneously ethereal and tangible, a relentless force with no immovable objects. Interestingly, the Red Bull's master, King Haggard, is just as terrifying, albeit in a distinctly and inherently human way. King Haggard and his motivations evoke a sense of existential dread seldom seen in a fantasy film, especially one aimed at children. Number 10. Fantasia. If the Chernabog in Disney's 1940 Fantasia didn't leave you a little traumatized as a child, you might want to look away. Even today, that demonic creature featured in the final segment of Disney's experimental musical film is genuinely terrifying and capable of provoking primal fear. It's astonishing to think that the Night on Bald Mountain segment, along with the other animated sequences set to classical music in Fantasia, was created so early in the Walt Disney Company's history. Disney's third animated feature film also happens to be one of its most unsettling, although Pinocchio's Donkey Boys deserve an honorable mention. I must single out Night on Bald Mountain, where the devil Chernabog summons hordes of evil spirits and ghosts from their graves to Bald Mountain, all set to a live orchestra performing Ave Maria by Franz Schubert. However, every animated segment in Fantasia has its own dark elements. Rite of Spring portrays the birth of the universe and the reign and extinction of the dinosaurs. The Beloved Sorcerer's Apprentice with Mickey Mouse features some genuinely menacing brooms. Number 9. The Secret of Nim. When it comes to melancholic animated films, Don Bluth stands as a true master, and The Secret of Nim showcases the animation legend at the peak of his craft. This film holds the coveted top spot on TV Trope's Nightmare Fuel page for a reason, as it was responsible for many childhood nightmares, evoking a sense of dread and foreboding through its dark and perilous adventure. The Secret of Nim marked the debut of Don Bluth Productions, which Bluth founded after his disillusionment with his former employer, Disney. It's a unique animated film that straddles the line between children's adventure and disturbing drama, a balance that would become a recurring theme in Bluth's future works. However, The Secret of Nim remains his finest, or at least his most chilling creation. The story follows a widowed field mouse, Mrs. Brisby, as she endeavors to protect her children from the imminent danger posed by a tractor. The stakes escalate when Mrs. Brisby's son, Timmy, is too ill to leave his bed, forcing the timid field mouse to seek alternative means to save her family. In her quest, she stumbles upon the titular secret of the farm, unveiling a deceptively complex backstory involving animal experimentation, political intrigue, and a rather grotesque-looking owl. The combination of traditional 2D animation and rotoscoping adds to the film's eerie atmosphere, making the sporadic moments of blood and violence all the more distressing. An owl crushing a spider has never seemed so gruesome. Number 8. Coraline. Here's where we transition from childhood terrors to the more adult fears. Coraline may be marketed as a children's movie, but strangely, it's adults who find this dark fantasy horror film the most unsettling. The creator of the 2002 novel upon which the Henry Selick film is based, Neil Gaiman, astutely noted that adults get scared by Coraline, while children react to the story fundamentally as an adventure. Gaiman elaborated, saying, "Adults get disturbed, and I think one reason for that is because it's a story about a child in danger, and I think we're hardwired to worry about children in danger." The reasons for adult unease become evident upon watching the film. Those button eyes. The introduction of this eerie element in the latter half of Coraline, which follows a bored young girl stumbling upon an idealized parallel world through a portal in her bedroom, is enough to send shivers down anyone's spine. The film unfolds like a horror story, with an increasingly sinister atmosphere as the titular Coraline confronts cryptic warnings and menacing perils. The once bright alternate world peels away to reveal a meticulously orchestrated illusion, complete with hapless doppelgangers controlled like marionettes and a truly intimidating spider villain. Number 7. Vampire Hunter D. Bloodlust. Yoshiaki Kawajiri, the maestro of anime horror, takes the director's seat in this visually stunning addition to the Vampire Hunter D series, based on Hideyuki Kikuchi's series of fantasy sci-fi novels. Although Vampire Hunter D. Bloodlust may have a somewhat clunky title, this beautifully animated creation is anything but a blend of spaghetti western, gothic vampire tale, and star-crossed romance. Vampire Hunter D. Bloodlust offers a ridiculously stylish anime experience that doesn't shy away from the graphic gore and bloodshed. Set in a post-apocalyptic future where humans rule by day and vampires hold dominion during the night, the story revolves around D, a human-vampire hybrid who's somewhat akin to a more aesthetically pleasing blade. He's a vampire hunter who exists as an outcast among both races. Hired by a wealthy man to rescue his daughter, kidnapped by vampires, Dee embarks on a journey through vast wastelands, facing bloodthirsty vampires and rival bounty hunters with personal vendettas. Beneath its seemingly intricate mythology, Vampire Hunter D. Bloodlust is essentially a road movie packed with remarkable visual aesthetics and extraordinarily attractive characters. The film sometimes leans more toward style than substance, but it's a feast for the eyes. Additionally, the gory horror elements, while potentially over the top for some, are a perfect fit for genre enthusiasts delving into anime. Number 6. Fears of the Dark. You might anticipate a few frights from a horror anthology entitled Fears of the Dark, but what you might not expect from this 2007 French black and white animated experiment is how profoundly unsettling it can be. No jump scares, no sudden torrents of blood. Instead, Fears of the Dark infiltrates your psyche, planting mutant insect eggs that metamorphose into anthropomorphic monstrosities, consuming you from body to soul. Yes, this is the plot of one of the 5 tales that constitute this film, written and directed by Charles Burns, the author of Black Hole, who brings his characteristic dose of body horror. One segment is merely a few minutes of contemplative narration set against computer-animated shapes, while another portrays a young girl enduring torment within and outside her nightmares. These 5 stories are individually crafted by renowned comic book creators and graphic designers, including Burns, Italian comics artist Lorenzo Mattati, here author Richard Maguire, and French graphic artist Marie Caillou. They span the spectrum from bone-chilling to profoundly horrifying, some animated by hand and others by computer, all sharing a common black and white palette. This stark visual style sets Fears of the Dark apart, at times making it feel more like an experimental project jointly orchestrated by a group of graphic novelists. Yet, this distinctiveness is what elevates Fears of the Dark above other horror anthologies. Number 5. Watchmen. Tales of the Black Freighter. Adapting a dense work like Watchmen can be challenging, and sometimes nuances get lost in the process. One such nuance missing from Zack Snyder's otherwise painstakingly faithful feature adaptation of Alan Moore's groundbreaking graphic novel is an entire narrative unto itself. A side story in which a young boy reads a disturbing pulp pirate novel at a newsstand. Fortunately, this side story was transformed into an animated short film titled Watchmen, Tales of the Black Freighter, offering viewers a deeper dive into the complex world of Watchmen. A comic within a comic, Tales of the Black Freighter was originally interspersed with the main narrative of Watchmen, with Alan Moore utilizing this nihilistic pirate's tale to help craft the graphic novel's overall bleak atmosphere. The 30-minute short film adaptation of Tales of the Black Freighter may feel somewhat condensed, but it retains its eerie and sinister impact. The story follows the lone survivor, Gerard Butler, of a pirate attack, who drifts to a desolate island on the wreckage of his ship, surrounded by the lifeless bodies of his fellow sailors. Driven to madness by isolation and the paranoia that the pirates may be heading to his hometown, the unnamed sea captain desperately constructs a raft from spare bits of wood and the remains of his comrades. As he embarks on his grotesque vessel, he undergoes a transformation into something equally horrifying. The short film introduces the ingenious addition of a monstrous companion, akin to Wilson from Castaway, represented by the mottled corpse of the sea captain's first mate Ridley. Voiced by Jared Harris in nightmarish dream sequences, Ridley propels Tales of the Black Freighter from being merely an accomplished adaptation of a Watchmen side story to a chilling standalone short film. Number 4. Watership Down. By now, you've likely heard countless anecdotes and amusing Amazon reviews in which unsuspecting parents purchase Watership Down for their children, anticipating a cute rabbit-themed film, only to be taken aback. Uncompromisingly grim and shockingly violent, Watership Down transforms a bedtime story into a harrowing nightmare. Director-writer Martin Rosen adapts Richard Adams' classic novel of the same name in this 1978 animated odyssey, chronicling the journey of a group of rabbits fleeing their warren in the face of an apocalyptic vision. John Hurt, a favorite among voice actors, returns to lend his talent as Hazel, the reluctant leader who guides the group toward a prophesied utopia with the aid of his seer younger brother, Fiver, Richard Briers. In a world where rabbits are cursed as the most vulnerable creatures, this resourceful band encounters a multitude of menacing threats that imperil both their lives and our mental well-being. This is an undeniably tense film. The dangers persist for these rabbits without respite, and despite the epic scope of Watership Down, the film feels painfully immediate. Even during the film's plunge into gratuitous gore and the confrontation with the merciless chief, General Woundwort, whose battered and bloodied visage is the unsettling image prominently featured in reaction videos on YouTube, the rabbits never lose their deeply human qualities. Watership Down represents the evolution of the fable, serving as an animal-led parable designed to elicit empathy and provoke reflection. Number 3. Seoul Station. Train to Busan is hailed as a perfect zombie movie, taking a simple premise and crafting a genre masterpiece. Did it necessarily require a prequel? Perhaps not. But will devoted fans eagerly devour it? Absolutely. Director Yeon Sang-ho, the mastermind behind Train to Busan, found the time to create an animated prequel to his 2016 zombie hit, and it's nothing short of astonishing. Titled Seoul Station to stay in line with the train theme, this animated feature delves into the outbreak of the zombie virus that swiftly engulfs all of South Korea. The origin of the virus is traced back to a homeless man bleeding to death near the eponymous station. The film introduces a range of characters: a young runaway woman, her hapless boyfriend, a father desperately searching for his daughter, who are soon thrust into a perilous struggle for survival against the relentless and ravenous zombies. Seoul Station possesses a more expansive narrative compared to Train to Busan, a quality that both aids and challenges the film. It invests time in setting up various plotlines and introducing characters, including some unsympathetic ones. However, once the film gains momentum, it hurtles unrelentingly toward its tragic conclusion. The suspenseful sequences and emotionally charged storytelling are on par with Train to Busan, culminating in a mind-bending twist that is nothing short of fantastic. Number 2. The Plague Dogs. The Plague Dogs completes the trifecta. Dogs desperately struggle to survive, despite their efforts to live by hunting grazing sheep and scavenging for food in village trash of scary, with few jump scares or heart-pounding moments. However, it ranks near the top of this list due to its overwhelming, unrelenting, and abject misery. Number 1. Perfect Blue. As you read this entry about Perfect Blue, you might question if you're truly reading it or if it's a figment of your imagination, a dreamlike illusion. Perhaps you're an actress portraying the writer of these words, and maybe there's a producer lurking in the shadows with sinister intentions. Satoshi Kon's directorial debut, Perfect Blue, is an undisputed masterpiece in a filmography brimming with brilliance. This is the same anime maestro behind the renowned Paprika. However, Perfect Blue is the film that leaves an indelible mark, lingering with you long after the credits roll. The 1997 psychological thriller flawlessly interweaves fantasy and reality in a narrative centered on Mima Kirigo, a pop star who steps away from her J-pop girl group to embark on an acting career. Yet, Mima's seemingly bright transition into her new career is marred by the discovery of a website that meticulously documents her every move and the unsettling presence of a stalker who cannot accept her shedding the image of a teen idol. Satoshi Kon is a director fixated on exploring the dual nature of humanity, and Perfect Blue exemplifies this exploration to the fullest. The film is a harrowing descent into the psychological abyss of a young woman wrestling with the conflict between her persona as a pop idol and her identity as a serious actress. In this turbulent journey, her personas begin to materialize as tangible menacing entities. Or at least, that's what you believe. Perfect Blue is a relentlessly disorienting film, immersing the viewer so deeply in Mima's psyche that distinguishing reality from illusion becomes an insurmountable task, even when a camera is trained on her. Yet, the shakiness of reality isn't the most terrifying aspect of this film. Perfect Blue is profoundly intense, delving into physical and emotional violence with an intensity that defies expectations for a film about an actress grappling with the dissolution of her reality. The film features a level of bloodshed beyond what you'd anticipate and contains one of the most explicit scenes ever depicted on film. This is a movie that leaves you with profound psychological scars, an overwhelming desire for a long cleansing shower, and an indelible sense of disturbance. If you've enjoyed this exploration of chilling animated films, consider subscribing for more movie discussions. Your support means a lot. Thanks for watching.